Philly was appeared to be the exact same play New England ran against you guys in the Super Bowl unsuccessfully. Are you aware of that?
It's where we got it from. We just put different people in the game.
The pitch was the difference.
Yeah, they were in 11 personnel, I think, and we were in 12.
Shannon, what do you think about these comments?
11 and 12 personnel, one tight end versus two tight end. 11 personnel is one tight end, 12 personnel. But anyway, Skip Bayless, I love it. I love it, Skip. I love that he's rubbing their noses in it.
You would have done that.
Yeah, of course. Because nobody had a problem with the New England Patriots Super Bowl ring having exactly 283 diamonds. Does anyone know the significance of that, Skip Bayless?
It was just a coincidence.
Oh, it's a coincidence. So it's a coincidence that we run to Philly last night to let you know that we took y'all play.
Well, they should have called it the Patriots.
No, because you couldn't call it Patriot. Tom Brady dropped the ball. You saw that, dropped it right in his hand, Skip Bayless. You see that athlete?
It was an overthrow.
No, that's Skip.
Straight over his head. Shannon Sharp wouldn't have caught that ball. Shannon Sharp would not have caught that ball. That was a tough catch. Straight over your head, overthrown.
I'd have caught that ball doing the kiki.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That's what I would have done. But anyway, Skip Bayless, I love it because the Patriots do this all the time. They constantly rub people's nose in it when they do things, and they try to do it on the sly. But guess what? You're like, yeah, we stole their play, and we made it look better than what they did because I got caught the ball. You see how Foles caught the ball? Skip, look at him. I don't know how he caught it. Look at his eyes. His eyes not tracking the ball. But when you're an athlete like that, you can do things like that. And he's not pliable.
He's an all-state basketball player.
That was 100 years ago. Right, everybody was all-state in something that was in the NFL.
That's not true.
Yes, it is.
Not football to basketball.
But maybe it was baseball. Maybe it was track and field. Maybe it was lacrosse. Maybe it was wrestling.
Were you all-state in basketball?
I was all-American in track, though. Okay. Is that better?
Yeah. In what event?
The triple jump.
Shot put?
The triple jump. But anyway, Skip, this is not about me. Stop trying to take the focus off the Philly and let it live in perpetuity for what it is. They took a play from the New England Patriots because they couldn't do it, and they ran it last night, and it gave them a spark, a boost that they needed, and they ended up going down, getting a touchdown. That was the difference in the ball game. So I loved it. Now, I don't get what Doug Pederson gets out of bringing this up. I love that he did it, but he could have just left well enough alone. We know where No, don't leave it. Now that I think about it, bring it up again, Dougie.
Yeah. So it is amusing to me how Doug Pederson uses the media when he wants to gloat and say, look at me, and say, look at what a genius I am. Look what I did to them. And I loved your phrase because I wrote it down. He loves to use the media to rub New England's nose in their Super Bowl loss. And what he claimed in his book, whatever it was, Fearless, that Bill Belichick somehow, what did he do, disrespected him on the field before the game?
He said that, or Lane Johnson said that.
I forget.
Lane Johnson said, hey, you guys had Coach Belichick said something to the tune, you guys had a great season.
Like had passed.
Yeah. It's okay. We're about to have a better season.
But isn't it amusing how Doug Pederson then abuses the media when he doesn't like the questions posed by his local media about his quarterback quandary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's real classy on Doug Pederson.
Everybody does it, Skip Bayless. Stop trying to make it seem like Doug Pederson has some kind of autonomy on this rule that we use the media when we want them to, but we lash out against them when they say something we don't agree with. Stop it.
So here's another coach, yet another coach who just makes me sick. Every time I see him on TV, he just makes me sick. And I told you, I can't help it. I grew up not liking the Philadelphia Eagles because I'm a Cowboy fan. I can't help it. I really dislike the Eagles. I don't dislike the Giants. I don't even hate the Redskins, but the Eagles, there's just something about, once they win, once they get a little front to run with, then they turn into all-time gloating front runners. Right. And this guy is the president of the new front running club in Philadelphia. This guy just 10 years ago, that's not that long ago, was a high school coach in Shreveport, Louisiana. And now he's so full of himself.
Working on his craft.
Yeah.
That's what he was doing, working on his craft. Skip, you don't get to start at the top. You don't become a master craftsman at something without working your way up. A lot of these coaches started out in high school, maybe college or junior college, and worked their way up. I got no
I
problem.
don't know how it happened so fast. I mean,
10 years is a long time.
Nick Foles fell out of heaven into his lap,
Don't do
or
that.
we wouldn't be having this conversation.
First of all,
right?
let me say something. First of all, the New England Patriots did not invent the play of throwing the football to the quarterback. John Elway caught 4 such passes, caught 1 in the Super Bowl.
I'm sure Newt Rockney had that play in the
no,
book.
Newt,
I mean,
all, all they had was running.
I don't
Newt
know.
Rockney did
I
just
don't
run.
know, but it's old as the hills. You know, like it's been around forever.
Everybody
was
was
like, that's what we got.
We took it from him.
Oh, took it from him.
Well,
Rub their nose. He is so full of himself that he has become just full of it.
No,
you know what it is.
No, winning,
Champions.
Skip, but hold on. Your guys got a ring with 283 diamonds, and they got the
They're
banner.
not my guys. I don't even like the Patriots. They just have the greatest quarterback ever.
Well, so you got to like them.
Okay, but
they
was
got
it
a
his
banner.
choice? Was the 283 his choice?
Okay, they got a banner that's hanging up that says 28-3 in the stadium.
Well, blame Robert Kraft for
Is
that.
the Philly going to be hanging up in the banner?
Probably.
Is the Philly special going to be hanging up? No, it's in the Hall of Fame.
There's already a statue of Nick Foles on the sideline with Doug Pederson calling the Philly special.
He didn't call nothing.
They have a statue of it.
No, they don't.
And you know what? It is interesting that all of a sudden we got a little mini New England going on here because we got a quarterback coach clash over credit going on because, again, Nick Foles took the credit for calling the Philly special in the Super Bowl. What did he say? I ran to the sideline and said it.
Yeah, he said, let's run it.
And that Doug went along with it, but that he suggested it. And then last night they had conflicting stories because Nick said he ran to the sideline to call it, but then Doug said, well, I said it first. Like they're saying, no, I said it first. I said it first.
First of all, let me ask you a question. Nick Foles did not put this play in. Doug Pederson put the play in. Now, Nick Foles might have wanted to run the play, but give Doug Pederson all the credit because it was his play and he had the courage, like you say, the courage of his conviction, to call it in that moment. 4th down in the Super Bowl, you called that play because they called a play like that for somebody else, in the very same game, and he dropped his opportunity. That was the Lombardi Trophy to go bloop, bloop, bloop.
4th down. I heard the audio from it. Nick Foles goes to the sideline before the 4th down play and says, Philly special. And Doug Peterson's like, oh, yeah.
Skip, it's one thing to say that, but in that moment to call it, when it's 4th down, you're in the Super Bowl. Now, there's a lot of, I wish if I had it to do over again. And we heard Kyle Shanahan say, yeah, if I had it to do over again, I would do things differently. Doug Pederson will never, ever have to second guess himself. He can sleep good at night knowing that I had the courage to call that play.
Because after one out of the blue year, he wrote a book called Fearless.
Yes.
He is fearless. And in that book, he took a shot at Doug Marrone, a fellow coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, for not being fearless in the AFC Championship
And I
game.
called it the next day. 2 timeouts on the 25-yard line with 55 seconds. You take a knee. So you deserve exactly what you got.
They were up 20-10 in the 4th quarter, and they kept throwing it every down in the 4th quarter.
They could have been up more at the half. They could have got a field goal. Who knows? Maybe even a touchdown. You don't sit on leads. And Doug Pederson said, that's what I'm not selling for those stinking field goals.
I love it that Doug Pederson is doing this because what goes around comes right back around, and it gets you good. No, it gets you good. And here's what's happening. All last year, they could wear their underdog mask. Last night even, they could have worn their underdog mask before the game because the spread got bet all the way down to Atlanta favored by a point at Philly. That's what it closed at in some books.
Yeah.
Atlanta by 1. So they were even the home underdogs last night. That will start changing. This year will be very different. Target on back, especially in the NFC East. Nobody took them seriously last year. They were 7-9 the year before, and Carson Wentz was a disaster most of the year.
When?
He was.
His rookie year?
Yeah.
Oh, it happened. He grew. I mean,
He grew.
Yeah.
Okay, but who saw him coming? Who cared?
I did.
Who
Doug
game
Pederson.
planned?
That's why they gave up all them picks to get him.
Didn't see it coming.
Doug Pederson gave up all those picks. There's a reason. And the reason why Cowboy fans, they love try to pick on the Eagles because the Giants have 4 Super Bowls. Washington has 3. Philly was the only team in that division that didn't have any Super Bowls. And so, y'all ain't got no Super Bowls. What can you say now? Because we got one since the last time. When's the last time you even been to a championship game?
How did you become a we in Philly? I don't get it. You're a we wherever the bandwagon rolls.
Yeah.
Right.
It's okay. So what's new? But anyway, let's talk about your Cowboys and why you hate the Eagles so much. Is because they have a Lombardi trophy in their lobby. You guys got 5, but none in this decade or the last decade. And
Well, keep going on Philly, than the previous decade or the previous decade or the previous.
Hold on, I live now.
Oh.
I don't worry about what happened to me when I was 25. I can't do anything about that.
I love it that your coach is Dougie P.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He'll probably put out a rap song pretty soon.
your coach is Coach Clapp.
He will.
What's that saying? Act like
got
you've
it.
been there?
Clapping
Act
Garrett.
Like you've been there.
Act like you've been there.
No,
he-
Act
no.
like you've been there, coach.
You go on vacation?
I do go on vacation.
You take pictures?
I
Act
do.
like you've been there. Oh, okay. Skip, see what I did? That's Skip. Oh, yeah.
Doug Pederson is acting like he's never going to get there again.
Might be,
right, wrote a
might be
book.
back sooner than you
15 minutes.
think.
Oh, yeah. Want to bet on that?
Uh-huh, maybe
Wait, did you pick Philly? To
No, I
win?
didn't.
No. You picked the New Orleans Saints.
Skip.
Doug
You must
Pederson
not-
made a statement that had us talking. You know who else said something that had us talking? Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, I can't wait. for
Yeah,
this.
made a very bold statement
I
that
got
will
something to say.
not make Skip
Aaron